We are full of concepts and we think we're living, but we're really conceptualizing.
Sea change when you go from being in your mind to being in your heart.
And the Course of Love was about discovering our true identity.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our show, Heart to Heart, How Our Course of Love is Changing Our Lives. So I'd love to welcome our guest for today is David Basiove, and he is joining us from Quebec, Canada. So welcome, David. So honored to have you here with us.
Thank you so much, Lynn. It's a privilege to be here.
Oh, it's a delight to have you. Thank you for taking your time. Okay, so we'll probably just get started. If you want to give us a little bit, David, about your personal journey before you discovered A Course of Love.
Sure. Okay. I'll try and keep it as short as possible because it's a bit of a story. But, Lynn, I think all of my life I've had a spiritual context to my life, and kind of grew up with some devoted Christians, bordering on sort of the fundamentalist side, shall we say, but devoted, I think, is a good word, and that really brought that aspect of Christianity into my life. And I spent a lot of time. I grew up in central Saskatchewan, which is in the middle of Canada, the flattest part of the world probably, and spent a lot of time on a farm there with my grandparents. And it was very primitive. We had no electricity, no running water, no plumbing. Heating was a wood stove. And I spent my summers there with my grandparents, and I really had a connection to the land. That's where I really, I became grounded to the land there because they were old and I was a kid, and I spent a lot of time alone there. And the natural result of grounding is light. So, being on the land, being alone, having space to breathe, fresh air, nature, sort of the natural result of that is being grounded. And then from there, comes the light of God. And not that I was aware of that at the time, but this is all in hindsight. Anyway, my real spiritual journey sort of kicked into high gear in the mid-'80s. And I knew at that time I wanted to be more grounded, more creative. I didn't know how that would manifest or what that would look like. But one day I saw an advertisement for a transcendental meditation course, and said, well, that sounds interesting. I knew of the Beatles' journey with the Maharishi and other bands like the Moody Blues, and going to India and studying with the Maharishi. And so I thought, well, I'm going to check that out. And so I went and I started meditating using the TM method, and everything just took off from there. Just about 5 years ago, I was in an online healing group, and I met a mutual friend of ours, Cole Nazovitsky, and he and I started talking, and he said to me one day, I also do ACIM. And I'm like, ACIM, what is that? And it just popped into my mind, A Course in Miracles. And I wrote him back, and said, I know that, Course in Miracles. I always wanted to get into that, so I ordered up the workbook, and I started to read the Ur-text, and I started to read that, and I struggled with it a bit. I felt like I was wading through some density that I just wasn't getting. So then I knew there was the workbook, so I got that, and I started doing the workbook, and that was easy. Around that time, I got another message from Cole. He's extremely excited about this new book that he has discovered called A Course of Love. You got to get this book. It's amazing. I go, okay, well, he hasn't steered me wrong so far. So I ordered
Thanks to Cole, yeah.
I ordered A Course of Love, and it came a few weeks later, and an immediate connection with that material, just an immediate connection. I opened it. I'm a cover-to-cover kind of guy. I started in page 1 at the introduction,
Mm-hmm.
And I just swept away.
Wow. Thank you for sharing all that, David.
No problem.
So I guess we could talk a little bit about A Course of Love now.
Yeah.
So I would love if you have something to share with us, like a
Sure.
favorite line, or it doesn't have to be favorite, something that's really speaking you today, or a passage, and we can look at that and have you share what it means to you.
Yeah. One thing that the Course of Love brings to us is, I think it tends to clear up some misperception about having a spiritual life and what that means. And
Good point. Yeah.
yes, in the dialogues, 40 days, 40 nights. And I think this is really important because there's some confusion I can see within the spiritual community. And day 8 is called Accept the Present. And I'm going to have to jump halfway down, otherwise I don't want to read the whole chapter. But 8.3. All right, so accept the present, 8.3. But here's the point that needs clearing up. This is not about acceptance of what you do not like. Do you really think you are being called to accept normal life? Called to accept those conditions that have made you feel unhappy? No, you are being called to an acceptance of new conditions. Realize that your desire for life to be different, your desire for your unhappiness to be gone, is very unlikely, in truth, to stem from the details of your life. Now, this is the key here. Even so, you are not called to accept what you do not like, but to accept that you don't like whatever it is you don't like. Then, and only then, when you have accepted how you feel, can you truly respond. Only when you have accepted how you feel do you quit labeling good or bad. Only then can you deal with anything from a place of peace. So I think this is a really important understanding that Jesus is giving us here, that it's okay that you don't like something or someone.
Yes.
It's okay that you don't like things and you don't want to have that happening in your immediate space. And again, in the past, in a lot of spiritual teachings and belief systems, we've kind of thought that to be loving, we had to make space for everything. Even for things that didn't feel good to us, even for things that were hurtful, we had to accept that to be loving. And you said it's very clear. It's okay to not like something. But what you don't need to accept that. What you need to accept is how you feel about it. And that's it.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah, that's a powerful day in the 40 days. It's definitely touched me. So yeah, that is so important. I feel like that the feelings, to be able to be in touch and meet whatever is arising, and to be able to feel those feelings and embrace that is it's transformational, because what we're doing actually is, I feel like we're loving ourselves.
Absolutely.
And it's not about denying how we feel. I feel like that's the worst thing I can do, is to deny my feelings. It's never been helpful for me, and it's always helpful to be able to meet those feelings and embrace it. And actually, it's eventually it rises to the light of awareness, and it's transmuted. The feelings, it just comes. It's a pass through. It comes and it goes.
I'd like to keep things simple, and there's certain things I've picked up, and one of them is think less, feel more.
Yeah. Oh, good. Yeah.
I don't know where that is in the book, but it's in there. Think less, feel more. It's very simple. And how I accomplish that is through breath. Keeping the body relaxed and soft, and by breath. And it's easy to get overwhelmed at times by feeling.
Yes.
So in those periods of time, especially now, we're going through an intense period on Earth with the virus and being isolated and all that, and the worries there. You
Hmm.
get overwhelmed. So for me,
Yeah.
it's about a couple of things: breath and keeping the body soft when I get to periods of intense emotional feeling, and then and just sometimes I'll just lay down and wrap my arms around it and just breathe and just understand that this is what's happening in this moment. That doesn't mean anything other than that. This is what I'm feeling in this moment, and this is my truth.
Yeah.
And another one that I really like is I dedicate all thought to union. And this is very helpful as well when things
Hmm.
maybe I get a little ahead of myself. Just remembering I dedicate all thought to union. And unity consciousness, this ACOL is leading us back to unity consciousness.
Hmm.
But it's leading us back, but it will be part of creation of the new as well. And
Hmm.
you can see in our world today that the COVID virus is teaching us about unity consciousness, that we
Hmm.
are one species on one planet together. And unity consciousness is what's going to get us through this. We're going to
Hmm.
fix this together.
Yeah.
It's not about praying to God and having him fix the mess that we've made,
Hmm.
about us taking
Yeah.
responsibility for what we have created. Because
Hmm.
we are
Yeah.
creations of God, but we are co-creators with him. And
Yeah.
these teachings in A Course of Love are so poignant for this time for me.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that relationship with the feelings and with everything is so key.
Yes.
It's not, for me, it's not just about embracing the feelings. It's also about having that relationship with the feelings, and that actually allows the pass through. Yeah, and I do think this collectively, this virus is here to point us within. The Course of Love says we begin to see with the eyes of the heart. And
Mhm.
we're all in this time of going within, both figuratively and literally, being advised to stay at home and not go out. So we have a lot of extra time.
Yes.
So yeah, I think it's, even though I'm not discounting or, anybody's suffering or, um, hardship financially, physically, emotionally, all that. I know everyone's going through a lot. But I think the bigger picture too for me is I know that it is a gift for us. And I think if we know how to look at it, it can offer us our freedom. I think collectively it's a call for love. That's how I'm seeing it.
Yes.
It's a worldwide global call for love.
Yes. Yes. Definitely is that, and we need to come together,
Hmm.
and
As one. Yeah. Unity consciousness.
we have a small history of divisiveness, yeah, on Earth and conflict, and I do hope and pray that will end in my lifetime.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you, David. Well, we're coming up on our time, so that was beautiful to share all that with you. Did you have any last minute thoughts or words of wisdom for our new people out there who are just starting with A Course of Love, or maybe who see this video have never even heard of A Course of Love?
Right. Well, it's a beautiful book. I highly recommend it. And just a note, I know within our broader community, like many of us came to ACOL, A Course of Love, through ACIM, A Course
Hmm.
in Miracles. And I know A Course of Love is positioned as a new or continuation of A Course in Miracles. And I know there's been a bit of controversy and reaction to that. And I just want to let folks know that that is absolutely irrelevant. And The book is standalone. It's a wonderful, beautiful teaching. It's a great companion as well to A Course in Miracles, but it is in no way meant to diminish anything about A Course in Miracles. But I know there's been some reaction there.
Yeah, there has.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good advice there. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I know without any doubt that the source of this teaching and the source of A Course in Miracles are the same. That is
I feel the same.
a point of certainty that
Absolutely, it's the same voice. Absolutely.
I don't question. I don't question that. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's I guess what I could say.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you, David. We're running up on our time, so I just wanted to really thank you. It's an honor to have you to join us today.